I'm Nathan Payne, and at 27 years old, I decided to go all in on wholesaling real estate full time. And when I got started, guys, I had no idea what I was doing. I had zero experience with real estate, but within 3 years, my business did its first $1 million. Now, fast forward, and I'm 34, I've done millions of dollars in wholesaling, and I've helped hundreds of other wholesalers get started and get results. And in this video, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what gave me the confidence to quit my job, what I did to get started, and what you guys can do to replace your income and get started as well. So let's dive right in. Let's start with the one thing I learned about wholesaling real estate that gave me the confidence to go all in and do it full time. Well, the main thing, guys, was that you could get into this business with little to no money. When I first started in real estate, I thought you had to have a ton of money to get into real estate. I thought it was for the rich. But I soon learned that you can wholesale real estate without ever owning the asset. All you do is you get a house under contract as if you're going to buy it, and you assign your rights to someone else to buy it, and you make that fee. It's paper, right? You're flipping contracts. You don't ever own that asset. You don't ever own the property. You found the opportunity, and someone else is willing to pay you a fee for finding that good opportunity. I found out that my friend in college, his dad was wholesaling. That's actually what got me into it. Corey Roysum, who was my business partner when I first got started, his dad was wholesaling real estate in Missouri. So he had the confidence to say, hey, my dad's seeing results. And I was like, well, hey, I want to get into real estate. Here you can make good money. But he told me like, hey, we don't have to own the property. And I was like, let's do it. So right before I got into wholesaling real estate, I was doing door-to-door sales and I was doing well. What gave me the confidence to get started in real estate full time was I had the ability to go all in. I didn't have to maintain and keep that job that I was previously doing to provide for my family. I had saved up quite a bit of money. My wife had a job, so we were financially in a good spot. Now, I know that's not the case for a lot of people, and that probably difficult for people to juggle a job and getting into real estate, but that's what enabled me to go in full time. So once I found out that I could be my own boss and that I was seeing proof from Corey and his dad that this worked, I decided to go all in because I believed in myself and I thought I could make it work. Now, what we started doing is me and Corey, we went all in on this business, and what we did is we started cold calling, we started knocking doors, and we were able to find our first opportunity from a guy named Donald that his house was on the MLS, and then it got off the MLS because he couldn't sell it, so they call it an expired listing. We were able to call him and negotiate a deal, and it's a long story, but we were able to do our first deal for $5,000. Now, that's not a ton of money, especially we had to split it, but it taught me that this business was real, and that's when I got really excited, and I just started putting more fuel to the fire, did more marketing, applied more effort, started studying how to be better at the sales process, and that's why I went all in. Now, I wish I had someone that could have helped me along the way when I first started that had experience, and that's exactly why I started doing the Painless Flipping Apprenticeship. I actually work with people right now that are brand new in wholesaling or want help and guidance to help them close their deals, to negotiate their deals. I actually take part in the transaction so I can help you guys along the way. So if you're interested in having someone hold your hand and help you through the process, check out the link below. Now, a question that I know a lot of you guys have is, can you replace your income? Can you really replace how much you're making with this job? Now, I will say that if you're doing this job part-time and you're doing another job part-time, it's extremely difficult to be successful. Why? Because when your attention is split, when your brain, this will be a brain, if your brain is split and your attention is not focus on one thing, it's just hard to be successful. That's when I first started wholesaling real estate. I actually tried to do it with my business where I was doing door-to-door sales with Corey. We were trying to do door-to-door sales and manage a team, and we were trying to do the wholesaling thing, but we couldn't. It just was difficult to be able to manage. So we actually quit that. Right? I quit the other job and went full-time into wholesaling real estate. And that's when we started taking off and seeing results, right? We went all in on the wholesaling. And that's what I would recommend for you guys. Like, you can replace your income doing this business. And the great thing about this business is the sky's the limit. There's nothing that can limit you. The more marketing that you do, the better you are at sales, the more people you talk to, the more people you take through the process of negotiating. I'm going to explain to you like the process of how to do this business in the next step. If you want to replace your income, there's two ways to do it, in my opinion. You got to go all in, and that's your focus, kind of like what I did. But I had the opportunity that I could do that because I didn't have a job. But I had the opportunity to do that because I didn't have to worry about money. I was in a financially good spot. My wife was working, so that was kind of a safety net. But if you're trying to do this part-time and you're not spending money on marketing, or if you're not decent at negotiating, it's going to be extremely, extremely hard. That's why I have the Painless Flipping Apprenticeship, because we work with a lot of people that do work full-time, and we're able to help them close deals, and we're able to help them navigate it, because if they were doing it by themselves, they would be super overwhelmed. But we help them through the process and to alleviate a lot of the issues and the pressure that you have through doing this business when you're new. But if you try to do this yourself, it's going going to be difficult. But like I said, you have option one, go all in and quit your job, or option two is you work with another wholesaler, you work with someone like me that is able to help you through the other process that's difficult to try and figure out if you're splitting your time. Now, I know this business works because I've helped tons of other wholesalers get started in this business, and whether they're doing this job full-time and they're focused, or they have a full-time job and they're doing this on the side, I've helped people to do $40,000 assignment fees, $125,000 in a couple months of getting started. We just helped Mike, who's been working with us for about 6 months. He just closed his fourth deal and he's done over $66,000 in assignment fees. And the list goes on and on. I've worked with tons of people. Now, again, the thing that helps these people do these deals is having someone that can help them through the process, or they're completely focused and they're able to do it themselves. So can this job replace your income? It can, but you need to be dialed in and focused if you really want to make this a career. So how do you actually go from being stuck in a full-time job to going as a full-time wholesaler? So let's say you're going to go all in on this wholesaling business, whether you quit your job and you go all in on this, or you work with me and you work with someone that can help you take on a lot of the load as you're doing this part-time. This is what the process that you're going to have to go through in order to make this work. So step number one, you got to pick a market. You got to pick a market where buyers are hungry, okay? You got to pick a market where buyers really want deals, okay? Where they're starving and chomping at the bit for houses, okay? And how do you pick a market? It's got to have a large population. I would recommend doing a title state, not an attorney state. And that means that the way to close deals is done through a title company. It's just a lot easier. It's a lot faster through title states. Okay. And I would use AI to help you pick a market. All right. Oh, got to write it reverse. So I would pick AI, use AI to help you pick a market. And that's going to enable you guys to know exactly where you can find deals, or where you're going to start looking for deals, and you're going to be able to sell them quickly. Number two is you're going to have to start generating opportunities to find motivated sellers and people that want to sell. So the first thing you're going to have to do is pick your lead gen source. Now, what I recommend is PPL, okay? Pay per lead. Pay per lead is awesome because you can get refunds on your leads that come in. But the problem with pay per lead is if you're not good at negotiating, you could just be lighting all your money, your marketing dollars on fire if you start getting opportunities with sellers that want to sell and you're just not good at negotiating and don't know what to offer them, or don't know how to beat out the competition. But either way, PPL is what I recommend. A lot of people go for lists because lists are cheap, and they're like, oh, it's a lower threshold to get started. The issue with lists is it takes a lot of effort. So yes, you can get started with lists and go through pre-foreclosure, probate. You can get absentee owner and stack it, but it's just going to take a lot of hits. You're going to have to cold call for 8 hours a day for several days, for months, in order to see results. If you go the list route, it's less expensive. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say it's less expensive because you put in the time and the effort, and that your time is worth a lot too. So I wouldn't really necessarily recommend lists. I'd go PPL route, but that's where you're going to do is you're going to generate leads. So that's the next step you're going to do after picking a market. The next step, guys, after generating leads and picking a market is you have to learn how to talk with people on the phone and qualify them. You need a qualifying script, and that's a phone for you guys. You're going to have to qualify leads, and you're going to have to ask them the right questions. Now, these are the 4 questions I would ask them when you're talking to them to see if they're even really motivated. Because there's a lot of people that you're going to talk to that are going to be like, yeah, I would sell if you give me enough money. No, you want to work with motivated people because that's the type of people that we serve. So you want to ask them, why are you thinking about selling? Have you thought about keeping it? Can you just keep the property? Have you thought about listing it? Have you thought about maybe flipping it yourself so you can make the most money possible? Or have you thought about even keeping it as a rental? Rental it and keeping it and staying in it kind of the same. But those are the questions you want to ask. You want to disqualify them because you don't want to just talk to everybody that's like, yeah, I have a house, because you could be wasting your time. You want to make sure that they're the right opportunity. So you want to make sure that you're good at qualifying sellers when you talk to them. Now, the next step is after you're good at qualifying sellers and talking to them, you want to be able to have the right contracts. Now, I give away a free real estate purchase contract that I've used to do millions of dollars in real estate. You're going to want to be able to use that and have the right paperwork so when you find a deal, you can capitalize and make money on it. Now, after you have the contract with the seller, you're going to want to do what is called an assignment. You're going to want to have to find an assignment agreement. This is another piece of paper where you assign your rights of this contract to the end buyer, okay? The end buyer is going to be the one that's going to be paying your fee because they're actually closing on the property when you assign it to them. So you're going to want an assignment contract. And by the way, I have these contracts that I give away. I also give them away, but also in the Painless Living Apprenticeship, you get all of it. Now, once you've assigned your property to the buyer and everything's getting done at title to close the deal, you want to do that process again. It's a repeatable process. You want to find the opportunities where you're going to be able to help people and serve them and find the right people that need to sell their properties that aren't going to list it, right? You're going to have to find the right opportunities where you can do this repeatable process of working with sellers who need to sell their house fast for convenience, speed, and ease, and you're serving them so they're willing to sell at a discount and you can sell it to someone else. Now you're going to want to do this process over and over again. This is the process of finding a motivated seller, negotiating a deal, assigning it to a buyer, and doing it over and over again. That's what this business is. This is a sales and a marketing business. A lot of people think it's just real estate. A lot of people, oh, it's just houses. But guys, this is sales and marketing. You're finding opportunities and then you're dispoing them. You're negotiating, you're getting rid of them, you're doing it over and over again. You never own the asset in wholesaling. You can, a lot of people get into this business because then they can look at opportunities and they can say, oh, I actually want to buy this one. This is a good one. Let me keep it. And you learn how to do that in this business too. So if you're looking at building a portfolio and growing bigger in this business, this is a great place to start because you actually find out what good deals are, what people are willing to buy, what you shouldn't buy if no one else is buying. But this is why this business is legit. Now, I hope this video has been helpful for you guys to see that you can quit your jobs too and go all in on this, and you have multiple options to do so. But if you're interested in seeing exactly how you can wholesale a deal step by step live and you want to see what it looks like with the seller on the phone, here's a video for you guys to watch on the next screen of me doing it live.